Hello, and welcome to Vlogmas. I have to figure out where we were. Here. Time to do another level. And time to do the next most popular video that I have made. And it is barriers to connecting with people. And I would guess that just about anybody watching this video could make this video on their own. Alrighty. Okay, start. Very ASMR. Throw all these bags here, throw those bags there. Right, started. So the barriers are legion. Bought up on end of story. Facts. Shoot, I already need to open another one. The barriers to connecting are on both sides. It's not great to try to assign blame. You know, but oh shoot. You look at me already screwing this up. Yeah, I mean there's sort of like barriers that haven't been talked about. And I'm surprised they haven't been brought up. Which is that there are people in this world that are just like not interested in putting up with our crap. Which is fine. Well, it's fine to me because I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, it's not like I'm really that interested anyway. But that's definitely one that I did not talk about. And I mean, yeah, dealing with somebody with a personality disorder is difficult. What do I think? Is it green or is it blue? Does it show? I am. Now, why would it bother showing? Because it's black here. Well, I guess I have to do the dreaded sort to see if there are the same hearts in both colors, and there definitely are not. So there we go, green. And also these guys. And 4 of these guys. So what happens if you run into somebody who is just like, nope, I'm not dealing with your crap? I mean, the biggest problem is that it's going to reimburse all the beliefs that you have. That, you know, you're not going to be able to find somebody that can understand you because you're uniquely broken, that you're not worth somebody putting the effort into getting to know you, since you are uniquely broken, etc., etc. I mean, according to the therapist, that's not true. According to my experience, I'm like, yeah, right on. I totally hear you, and there's not much can be done about it. I mean, this is the thing about making these videos, is that what seems like 100% logical to me, I would never, ever, ever suggest that anybody else go through it, what I'm going through, or that they should believe what I'm believing. So, does that make me a hypocrite? Possibly. This is going gangbusters. Yeah, that's because I'm trying to think of another. Oh no, I gotta open another bag. Another reason why, yes, I definitely do. Why there are barriers that I didn't talk about in the first video. Oh, another one, like basically I'm saying right here now. Excuse me. What if you don't want to interact with people anymore? That does not mean that you don't have a variant personality disorder. That doesn't automatically jump you into the schizoid area. Because you know what? Even if you don't want to interact with people, even if you're like, okay, yep, had enough for sure, had enough. You know, I've been mistreated so many times that this is just not something I'm wanting to participate in anymore. Thank you. Goodbye. You still have those thoughts in the back of your head that you really wish you could be with somebody. They don't just disappear. because you've suddenly said, okay, that's it, I'm not going to interact with anybody anymore. That doesn't stop the other half of the avoidance, which is pretty sad, I totally admit. And yes, I am doing the dastardly, horrible sorting here because I'm afraid I'm going to have to open yet another bag. But before I do that, I'm looking to see if it's possible that it's here. Oh, look, I'm messing up my piles. Nope. I have to open another bag. This one? Probably this one. So that's actually interesting. What happens if you just don't want to interact with people? This is totally different from what the original video was about, I understand. But what happens if you don't want to interact with people and yet you still have the urge? You know, that is hard to deal with. Because then you're of two minds and you're going crazy, and it's just like, well, I really wish, but then really no. And I mean, it helps if you are very introverted, which most, but not all people who have avoidant personality disorder are introverted. I am sure, 100%, that there are non-introverted people with avoidant personality disorder, and aka extroverted, and I can't even imagine how horrible that is to deal with. You hear that, cat? That's Lily. You know, acting like a 15-year-old on the death's door. Yeah, really. Really, she is. That's crazy. As I'm sorting my least favorite thing to do in the universe. Why do I put myself through this? I don't know. Because I'm crazy. Clearly. And again, I'm sorry if I've offended people by using that term. Are these all the same? They are. But I'm trying to separate them. Somehow. I found it. Finally, I found it. More Lily being Lily. Yes, I do think there are. I mean, I think I'm kind of an ambivert. Anyway. In certain situations. I mean, obviously, I make these videos, so I'm not completely super isolated away from myself. And I did not, when I started this channel, there was a whole bunch of people who were making videos, and almost all of them have deleted their entire channel. And I completely understand. Because in the beginning, it was like people got super famous right off the bat because nobody had seen anything talking about avoidant personality disorder. Not really. You know, again, there were these terrible things that you could see online that were just stupid, ridiculous, incorrect. Yeah, I'm sure they're still out there. This quote-unquote studies. Are you serious? I'm going to have to open another bag. I mean, I suppose pull the band-aid off and open them all, right? Ridiculous. What am I even looking for? I'm looking for... Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to have to open them because it's an itty-bitty guy. Is it in here? No. In here? I haven't already lost one, have I? Impossible. But it is a 1 square. Oh, I hear him. Is it in here? Yes, it's right there. Here we go again. Opening another bag of these. There's somebody out there that absolutely loves that I'm opening these bags. And rock on you. There it is, this little guy right here. I was not trying to be famous with this video, this channel. All I was trying to do was be a voice opposing the nonsense, and I have no idea of it. And now I'm sort of a really bad example because I'm like, okay, whatevs. I don't have people in my life, fine. That's probably like the worst sort of non-representative, you know, person with avoidant personality disorder. Especially the younger you are, the more you want to interact. But it really doesn't go away. It's more like, you know, what would I rather do? Would I rather like go hang out somewhere, or would I rather just stay home in bed? Well, you know, you get to the point where you'd rather just stay home in bed. Are you serious? I have to open this little guy too? Really? Is this the one that we need? No. Oh, they're already here. Ha. Yes. A little purple flowery thing. Do I see purple? Is it in here? Probably. Yep, it's right there. Nuts! Here we go again. Let's open this one up. The worst thing about this is you know that the cat's going to go completely insane and try to get them. And they're going to be lost. And it's going to be a crisis. So far I haven't lost any pieces for this. Knock on wood. Alright, so. Here. This goes on here, and this goes here. Wait, what? Put it on the wrong side. I did it. Unbelievable. Are you at all surprised? There we go, and then that goes like that. Okay, there we go. Now I need one of these ones that I think looks like a tooth. I think it's supposed to look like... No. Okay, so yeah. So basically becoming jaded, or whatever you want to call it, and deciding that you just don't want to deal with people anymore. Definitely a barrier to interacting when you have avoidant personality disorder. And you know what? I think that is just fine. Probably like people out there going, no, no, no. You need to force yourself to interact. Yeah, if that's one of your goals, then you need to do that. But if that is not one of your goals, you know, if you have different and better goals, perfectly fine. Then do your different and better goals. Better not be. It's supposed to be one of the big swirly things. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just going to go flying through this. So times 6. Oh, I see. Okay, this. Oh, nope, I got that wrong. I'm sure that's not how you're supposed to do that. Let's see. Let's find this little red guide so that I can use that as a basis to judge everything else by. Oh yeah, how long is that supposed to be? Maybe it is this one. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. It's supposed to be 6. That looks like 8 to me. That is an 8. And that one's an 8. Wouldn't it be a kicker if they didn't actually give me parting? You would think from all those puzzles I did that I would be able to find things and see them. Of course, you're supposed to sort. In here. Okay, maybe I won't do that first. I mean, is a non-bump. Okay, so this guy goes there, and then wait. Yeah, definitely diagonal there. And then there's a spot, and then there's 2 next to each other. Whatever these things are, these little. I swear, somebody like went through and dug out all of the weird things they could find, and they just said, "Let's just throw everything together and make this." Oh, so there's supposed to be 6 of these stuck onto each other. One more somewhere. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Huh? Oh. And then this is. Yep, these are wrong. Let me beat it up. I mean, this definitely makes more sense to me. See, ta-da! Wait, was I right in the first? I was right in the first place. Maybe these will just pop off. Wait. No. And again, people who do this more often than me are probably like, you idiot. Especially that move I just did. Let me beat this thing up. All right. So I don't think that there is anything at all wrong with deciding that interacting with other people is not in your best interest. Okay, I am right back where I started. I don't think I dropped one on the floor. I think there's one. I mean, who am I kidding? I probably did drop it on the floor. Let me see. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. But I also don't see the other one. But I didn't see it before. But oh, there it is. Oh, no, it did not go on. Oh yeah, and for some reason my and I think that's where it stopped recording, which I'm really not sure what is up with that. And I think that the whole next video had the same issue. I'm not sure if this is a battery issue and I'm completely lame and not charging them, which I am completely lame and I don't charge them. Because there's how the microphone works. There's two pieces, one that hooks to the device and one that you can wander around with. And both of them need to be charged. So I don't know if that's the problem, or if it was a loose connection or whatever. I think the issue actually affected the entire next video I recorded too. So this is fun. So unfortunately, you don't get the ASMR type clicking and clacking of all the pieces of plastic and opening the bags and all that. Sorry about that. Sorry that this is going to be very disjointed because I'm doing this voiceover days after I recorded the original. And I don't use a script, so I'm sort of like floating around in space concerning the conversation that I was having previously. But again, it probably will make more sense and you'll get more out of it because I'm not splitting my concentration. So yes, barriers to communication, barriers to connection, which are, I believe I was in the middle of saying that it might be that it's your choice, and that's totally cool. That if you want to, even if it's like a temporary thing, it's probably a temporary thing, let's be real, or avoidant, with avoidant personality disorder are compelled to connect in some way or another. And, if you're not able to put that out because you're dealing with a bajillion other things in your life, hey, that makes perfect sense. And it's also something, that's also something that therapy can help you with, because if you're taking a period where you're not connecting by choice, even if it doesn't feel like it. I mean, a lot of times it doesn't feel like it's by choice, and it is by choice, let's be real. Then that might be a period where you would then have the little bit of extra energy available to go into therapy and to learn how you want a connection with other people to actually be. Because like I grew up with the literally being told beggars can't be choosers, literally being told I have to accept whatever kind of relationship or interaction I'm dealing with, because I would not be eligible for something that was more compatible with me necessarily, that the dregs of the universe are all that I'm supposed to be able to have in my life. Which, you know, is pretty bad for anybody that I interacted with. But there's so few people that have anything to do with for like the first, well, I mean, even now there's so few people, but like the first 45 years of my life. Okay, well, obviously there's my kid. There's my oldest friend who is still to this day disappointed in how little I interact. I guess in his head it was always a distance thing, that we weren't hanging around because we lived, you know, a minimum of like 1,000 miles away from each other. But now we live like 20 minutes drive away from each other. And yeah, I still don't interact. I mean, I do, but I don't. I mean, it's just, I mean, my work schedule, which is my choice, makes that difficult, because I'm working when almost everybody else finally is off of work. So in theory, I could meet somebody for lunch. I would have to wake up early to do that. Literally, I have to wake up early to meet somebody for lunch and set an alarm. Although I usually wake up, but to actually get up and move and get like out of the house, I actually literally have to set an alarm to meet somebody for lunch. Pretty wild, huh? So it's my breakfast for sure. Again, that's my choice. I could change what I do. I could work at a different time. Lots of things that I could do to make that different. But that's my interaction. Actually, I'm going through a period where I'm like, do I really want to do this? Continue to do this? You know, it's and it's not truly, it's not the job. The job always has a certain degree of it's almost like a gamble with my job as to, you know, I don't know, you know, people, the way my job is structured is, which is weird, but I have a base pay and then I get tipped, you know, depending on how well I do. And so the tipping is a generosity thing, and the tipping is how people feel about the, you know, the economy, this time of year specifically. You know, people are trying to buy gifts for and everything else, and so this time of year it's really wobbly, that people would rather spend their money on other things. But on the other hand, this time of year, end of the year, there's a lot of work, so it makes up for it. So I might be working more and making less, but it's not actually the job, but it's other things in my life. It's sort of like, is it time to move on and find something else? do. Then I'd have to work at a normal hour, and I'd have to interact with people more. And do I want to do that? No, I don't. Let's be real. And I also appreciate that it's not that big a deal if I take time off. So I can travel a lot if I want. And I'm sure this video now is going off in a turn that has nothing to do with what the original had. But yeah, I feel like I shouldn't be saying something that's sort of going to come off as blame the victim. Say, you're the one that doesn't want to communicate with people. Yeah, right. You're the one that doesn't want to connect. Yeah, right. But that is something to keep in mind. I mean, especially if you are diagnosed avoidant and your personality is set, then that means you've been living this way for a very long time, a minimum of a decade. And so making those changes is actually a really hard thing to do. But owning up to what you have sort of set your life up to be and decided upon, for sure, is part of it. Because again, it's completely fine and great unless you're going crazy with it. And if you're going crazy with loneliness, which is different, straight up loneliness is different from a failure to connect. But if that's what you're doing, then you do have to confront these things and start from the bottom and go up. You have a sort of protective defense mechanism in place that's going to keep you from trusting other people, period, unfortunately. And that it's not really your fault that you developed that, but if you lean into it, then, especially if you just don't even see it, if you don't see what you're doing, you don't see that you're protecting yourself by keeping yourself from connecting with people, then that's going to definitely keep it status quo instead of making changes. And if you need to make a change, that's definitely what you need to do first. Like, I'm sitting here with my oldest friend just up the street, and my sister actually in the state the first time in. We've lived in the same state. I think it's the first time since my son's been born. He's 23 years old. That we've actually lived in the same state. I have nothing to do with her. I have cousins up the yin yang. I mean, my mother's side, my grandmother was the 13th of 16 children. My father's side, it was 12 kids altogether. I think she was 8th or 9th, my grandmother. I have so much family around here, and I have nothing to do with any of them, and that is my choice. And if I wanted to, there's so many, I could reach out to some of them, and at least one would probably be around. I could hang out with them, and then I could have family, and I don't do that. Spoiler alert, one of the most popular videos is interacting with your family. So that will be coming up soon, and I actually don't look forward to that one. Because my family situation was bizarre, and it's a rumination on the past. Why would I want to do that, right? Anyway, so yeah, the barriers that you're putting up yourself, I mean, see, this is so hard for me to navigate because I feel strongly that the reason you are avoidant, is a legitimate thing that you had to deal with and navigate in your life. And it's not your fault. The abuse that you went through, which again, I think I just said that. I repeat myself a lot. It's really recent that I've been able to really say, yes, this was abuse that I went through. Because I was told specifically that it wasn't as bad. And I was constantly, my mother, being given examples of other types. I mean, she was aware. She knew what she was doing because she kept showing me and telling me that other people were much, much worse than what she did. Which is bizarre. Anyway, so I don't want to say it's all your fault. That's why you're not connecting with me. I mean, that's crap. Obviously, that's not the reason why. And I don't want to come off that way either. But there are things that you can do to break that down. And it's not something you can just snap your fingers with, and it is something you have to make a decision about. And it is a matter of really, I mean, maybe it's easier for me because I dealt with my son who is autistic, that I can see very, very clearly that things that other people just sort of like can do, he can't do. And it's the same with me. I have a certain amount of bandwidth for coping with interacting and for tamping down my mistrust of people and my absolute surety that there's something wrong with me that people are going to pick up on, and that for that reason, the closer I connect with people, the more likely they are going to see that, whatever I used to call it, the black hole in my soul or something like that. They're going to pick up on that when they get to know me more and more and more. So the closer I get to people, the more likely they are to pick up on that, the more likely they are to abandon me. I mean, that's not really the word, but to fall back to, it's not an abandonment thing. It's a straight up rejection thing. Is what I'm sure is going to happen. They're going to be like, yeah, oh, I didn't realize you were like that. Goodbye. And the more it's going to hurt when that happens because I have gotten close to them. That is my massive wall that I put up. Period. I am aware of that. And I can negotiate that. And I can get things in my world that are less stressful in other situations so that I'm able to then have space for the stress of interacting with people. Fact, I can do that. I also can get, a massive amount of energy. No, as long as I know that I'm going to have a recovery period afterward. Like the big example of that was when, to me, and this is so gross, but this is true, is when I had my parents' funeral and I had all my relatives from both sides together. It was like a massive family reunion. It was right after the pandemic. Nobody had interacted with each other. I had stress from my sister. I had money stress. I had criticism and judgment about what kind of funeral I was having, and everybody wanted their own 2 cents, and I had to really put my foot down and do what was best for my immediate family, for me and my son, and for my sister and her family, and I had to totally take responsibility for that, and it was horrible. It was also very short period. It was something like, it was long as far as a funeral is concerned, but it was less than 2 months. And I put every bit of energy into it. And then I was able to do it. And literally my relatives, okay, there's one aunt who really had a hard time with my father's death, who I was interacting with like on text. That's it. And I have one uncle that I've run into like a grocery store or something twice since then. And other than my son and my sister and her kids, all those relatives, not a one have I had any interaction with at all since that happened. Because I put so much energy into that, and then it was just like, almost like a nuclear bomb. And now I have nothing left for any of those people at all. And so you can force yourself to do that, but that's not a connection. And that's why it takes a long, long time. And it's like, turning the Titanic. Maybe that's another really bad example, but it is. It's not something you can snap your fingers and do. You've got to really plan it out and slowly make these changes, because you don't want to throw something out there and it's like a pendulum. You put that energy out, it moves, but then it's going to swing back. You want to move the fulcrum. And to do that, you've got to slowly do that and be comfortable with it and get it out there. So you can do that. And the other thing, of course, is your connection is going to look very different from like say Friends on that TV show. Like, give me a break. I would die if I had to be in a situation like that. It's interesting to watch on television in a creepy kind of way, like, oh my God, that would be so horrible. It's not going to look like that. The connection that you make is not going to look like that. And that's okay, because what matters, despite what you may have been told about you are last on the tier and that everybody else is more important than you, etc., in reality, if you want to really make a connection, then it has to be one that fits you. And you are not going to just sort of adapt to what other people want, but you're going to have to find a connection that suits you, which is possible, or else you're going to be too stressed out by it and it's going to crumble. But then giving yourself permission to do that is difficult. It's right up there with taking responsibility for accepting that what you have been doing might be contributing. Not saying it's all you, but saying that, you have barriers, that's okay. But if you're going to stay right where you are, then nothing's going to change. You're going to have to move a little bit, and you're going to have to figure out what you can live with. Anyway, I think this is getting to the end of this rambling. So yeah, good enough. Pretty close to the end of this video. I think there's like another minute I could ramble on more, but that'll probably just be annoying. Again, I'm sorry that this audio issue is popping up. I think it actually is popping up in the next video. I'm not sure how much it actually recorded. Anyway, but I will figure that out, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next Vlogmas. Bye!